All right, guys, welcome aboard. We're going to have some fun today. So as you can see, we are going to be flying the 737 200 from FlyJSim, or whatever the hell it is, or SimJFly. You know who it is. Excuse me. Anyway, this is the 200 version. I picked this up the other day. And boy, is it nice. Look at it sitting there. I've got it decked out in the Southwest retro livery here. Let's go ahead and jump in the cockpit over here. Look at this. You know, I feel, if you've watched my channel before, you know I am a real world pilot, private pilot. I haven't flown in a while, but I learned to fly back in the 80s and early 90s. And boy, I look at this and I feel like Han Solo in, The Force Awakens. I'm like, Chewie, we're home. This is what I'm used to. Lots of dials and things like that. Let's jump in the captain's chair here. And boy, look at all this good stuff. I have flown this thing twice. Okay, so I did a quick kind of just take off, get to make sure I knew the systems and everything, and was able to get it started up and all that good stuff. And if you're familiar with the Zibo or the default X-plane 737, you'll feel kind of right at home here, at least on the top panel, because it's quite similar here. It is a Boeing 737. This is the granddaddy. Yeah, let's go ahead and get fired up here, and then we're going to be flying VOR to VOR. There's no FMCs in this thing. Get that stuff out of my plane, right? We're going to be doing it old school here, right? We got radios, we got VOR frequencies. We're going to be tuning in and flying from San Diego, where we're sitting here on the sort of the GA ramp. And we're going to fly over to Phoenix and see if I can't kill us. Like I said, I have flown it twice before. The second time I flew it, I only did one landing in this thing so far, and it wasn't pretty, but we'll see if I do it a little bit better at this time. Let's see, what do we got to do first here? So, yeah, let's see, we got a couple little call-outs, not call-outs, whatever you want to call them, pop-outs. And what we need is not that one, that one. We need this one right here. We're going to start the GPU. That'll give us our ground power. I hit that. We do have to do our fuel here, so let me see here. Actually, that's pretty good. I think that's what I had left over in my last flight. I just kind of bumped it up a bit. All right, there you go. Perfect. We'll just leave it right there. So let me bring up a chart over here. I'll show you what we're going to be doing. All right. Let me zoom out here. I got the high altitude en route chart here. Basically, we're going to go from San Diego down here. Let me go ahead and zoom in for you. So we're going to take off San Diego. We're going to fly over here to the Julian VOR, right? Then we're going to go course 040, and we're going to pick up Shady Intersection right there. And then we're going to head for the Blythe VOR. And then we're going to kind of go off course here a little bit. We're going to go direct over to, what is it, Buckeye, I think? Yeah, Buckeye VOR. And we'll start our descent someplace before that, because then it's like, I think it's another 40 miles or something like that. 41 miles here over to the airport here in Phoenix. So that's what we're doing. We're going to keep tuning all these things. I'll refer back to this thing as I go. So just off the bat, we know we're going to be tuning in 114.0 in Julian. And let me go ahead and get that off of the screen here, and we'll get set up. So we got ground power. Let's go ahead and get powered up over here. Turn our, whatever it is there, DC power on. Turn our emergency lights on, and boom, go over to ground power. So wow, lots of lights and everything, so like a Christmas tree. All right, so let's see. So lighting here, we're just going to go up. No, the other up. Up. I don't have my keys yet kind of mapped to this, so I'm a little fumbling around with my lights and stuff like that. Okay, so we're on ground power. Let's get our APU started up. We'll put the one fuel tank on. We'll grab this thing. You got to hold it until you see this needle start rising right here. point to the needle. There we go. See it rising? Now we can release, and it'll continue on until we until it's all fired up. As a matter of fact, if we go jump outside, you probably hear that firing up. Alright, there we go. Once that gets fired up, we can get on our way here. There's not a whole lot of stuff that we're going to be setting up in here. No FMC and all that mumbo jumbo. Alright, we're just gonna go turn our transponder on right now so I don't forget. Okay, so my frequencies already got tuned in here. Lucky me. So 114.0 is our first frequency, and that was the Julian VOR. And then we're going to be going to Blythe, which is 117.4. I've got that as the standby, and I've got it also at the primary on our second VOR, which is tied into the co-pilot's thingy here, HSI. Thingy. Why is that blinking at me? I have no idea. Alright, so off, that's off, that's off. Okay, that's on manual. Good. The one thing that I'm not comfortable with here is the whole FMC, or the flight director here. Sorry, not FMC. The flight director here and the autopilot. It's a little quirky. I just kind of getting used to it. I read through the manual, and I think I got it figured out. It's not that bad, but it works different, you know. And if you're used to, you know, like the 737-800, this is a little bit different for you. And now, being that this is an old airplane and we got VOR flying, you know, it's not like the FMC where you just punch in the course and hit the toga button, away you go, and then you just kind of land it. This is kind of more hands-on here. So you got to kind of set all the VORs, and then we're going to be tracking to the VORs, switching over between VORs, all that kind of good stuff. So let's just kind of set our courses up here. So you can see I've got course 040, so that is VOR1 on our HSI right here. And you can see we're already picking it up. We're picking up the Julian VOR 39 DME from it. And we want to go to it on a course of 040. Same thing, I'm going to change my heading here to 040. This is for our heading hold for our autopilot, okay? And you can see, just kind of line those two up. We'll adjust that once we take off. Now our course into the other VOR, which is, what was it, Blythe, is going to be 078, and I can show that to you on here. Alright, just remember to take this off. Okay, so here's our intersection. We're going to come in from Julian, hit this intersection. Once we hit that, we're going to go inbound here to Blythe. There we go, Blythe. And at 258 is the radio coming out of it, so you reverse that, kind of subtract 2, add 2. So subtract the 2, add 2, it's 078. So, and then out of there, I'm not even sure what this course line is. Let's see, it should say it right here, or does it not? Let's take a look at our nav log there. Julian. This has got a couple of extra intersections here, blah, 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 Blythe. And then from Blythe, I'm going to bump that up. Why won't it bump? Okay. Anyway, Blythe, I'm just looking for a heading. So from Shady, here we go. From Shady, it's hard to see on my other screen here. It looks like a heading of, no, it's wind direction, 091. I'm like highlighting over here, and it's like highlighting way up there. It's kind of acting weird on me here. But anyway, track, magnetic heading, yeah, 084. So it looks like I'm going to go 084 over to Blythe. So let's get rid of that. So 08, yes, this is 082. We're going off of it a little bit, 084. Over to this, over to Buckeye. I think that's right. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let me get rid of that. Goodness, why is things not shutting down here for me? Okay. Alright, anyway, we got our APU fired up, so let's go over to APU power. Alright, come come up here, we'll go to APU power, leave that on standby. Let's see, what are we going to go up to? We're going to go up to 20, let's say 23,000 feet, okay? And then we set our landing altitude. I forgot what Phoenix is. I think it's like 11 something. Close enough. We won't die. It's not like we're going to explode or anything like that. Okay, let's turn our APU bleed on. Our engine bleeds off. Packs, actually that should be off. Just the one on there. Alright, so we are powered up on our APU. We can go ahead and disconnect our ground power unit. Let's see, which one is it? That one. So let's get rid of that. Alright, and then let's just go down the panel here, kind of similar to the 800. Yaw dampener on. We're going to get started up, so we'll turn all our fuel pumps on. Right, that's good, that's good. Come down here, that's all good. Our panel brightness is good. We'll turn the circuit breakers off. Smoking signs and seatbelt signs are already on, so we'll leave them here. We'll turn on our window heat here. If I can grab the right ones, and our pitot heat. We'll get those fired up. We'll get our electrical hydraulics going here. And that's it for there. Let's see, what do we got here? There we go. Okay, recirc ban is on. PAX is off, except for the right one is on. And our bleeds are set. And our pressurization is set. And our lighting can now go over to regular. And we can turn on our... okay. Go away. We'll turn our nav lights on here. Anti-collision lights, it's called. And we can put our logo on too also. What the heck. Alright. I think we're ready to start up. So that's it. We're going to start the engine. So turn our packs off. Throw number 1 over to ground. That should have been off. There we go. And we're going to pay attention to our N2 right here. Once it gets to about 15 and 20, we're gonna hit our fuel. Alright, there's 10, there's 15. Grab our fuel. Listen to those nice engines start up. Put the window up. Window shade. The window shade's working this thing, by the way. Let's go outside. It's going to be loud, but you'll like it. Let's see. That sounds nice. All right. Okay, so now we go over to number 1, over to ground, and keep an eye on our N2 right here. Here's 10, 12-ish, 15-ish. All right, fuel. Let's jump outside. Let's see how this starts. Turn it down just a little, just so I can talk and you guys can hear me. Got my scratchy voice again with my allergies. Okay, so we got our instruments set here. We need to set our altimeter, and actually looks like it's pretty close right here. 3003, 3003. Let's look at that one, 3003, yeah, around 40 feet-ish or so. That looks good. We got our altitude set down here, 23,000, that's where we're going to be going up to. Alright, we're going to double check our autopilot stuff here, make sure it's on off. These are down, that means off. Heading is off, this is on manual. Flight director, this little thing right here, this pitch command, I still got to read up on it, that's kind of weird, but what it does is if you look over here, you see this pitch reference right here. You see as I'm turning it, it goes up and down, so I'm just going to turn it up a little bit, right to 10. Let's put it right there, put about 10 degrees, because that's kind of where I'm going to be wanting to pitch to. Otherwise, I have no idea how that works. Okay, and then our courses are all set here, and that's off, so good to go. Alright, we're ready for departure. Let's get our lights on here. So we're going to go landing lights on, we'll put our taxi lights on. These can go over to, what is it called? It's called low ignition. And strobes can go on, everything else is on. Wind lights, I'll turn them on too. Alright. And what do we got here? Jet bus off. Did we switch over to engine power? No. We're still on APU power. Okay, so let's switch over to engine power. Check this one. Grab the right one. There we go. Alright, now we're on engine power. Now we can switch over. We'll go over to Gen 1 over here and put our bleeds on. APU bleed off. We'll put our packs back on here. Alright, and switch our APU off. Alright, now we're ready to go. My goodness. I should really use a checklist for this. But, hey, I don't want to use a checklist. Alright. Alright, let me turn up the volume here. You can hear this nice taxi sound. Oh, we're going to put our flaps over to 10. Let me show you this. So, if we take this, here's flaps 10. Here's our V speeds, right? And those are our little notches right here. So that's 80. This is, what, 123, 124. Here's 1. I don't know what the hell it is. Let's just make sure these are set. Go over to 10. There we go. Alright. I don't know. They don't seem to line up with the actual markings. I have no idea. But anyway, that's our speeds. Maybe this is like, indicated, whatever. We're just going to go with it here. And turn that off. Let's get out of here. Anyway, but those are our speeds right there, right? So it's kind of weird that the indicator, I guess I'm not sure what the difference is here. So this one is at like 150-ish, 149. Are these flap retraction speeds? No? I don't know. We'll see how that works out. Anyway, I know that the flap retraction, if we look at this, you can see right here. So here's our flap retraction speeds, which is kind of nice. We're going to start out at 10. So 5 flaps at 146, then 170, 190, we should be all the way up. Let's put it that way. Why these don't kind of line up, I'm not quite sure. I don't know if it's difference between like indicated airspeed and true airspeed. I don't know. Anyway, we'll leave it as is. We got everything ready to go. So let's get on out of here. Alright, we'll square up our little view right here. Parking brake off. Bring the engines up. Watching it on the ground, kind of like I'm sitting there. Alright, we're going to take the runway right here. Alright, let's get in the cockpit. Take the runway and get on our way.
On runway 27, flaps flaps.
1, 2, 3. Let's hold right here for our flaps to come down. And we're setting 10 flaps here. Oh, one other thing. One more flaps. Trim. So how do you know when trim to trim to? You know, depending on your fuel load and weight and everything. Well, they made it nice and easy here. You just click in the green arrow or the green section right here, and you can see it just retrimmed us to our proper takeoff trim. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to calculate it all out. All right, so flaps are set, landing lights are on, trim is set. Yep, we're ready to go. Okay, so we're going to depart out of here. We're going to climb out and make a right turn to intercept this right here. We might overshoot it a little bit and then come back around. All right, so no auto throttle, no toga, none of that crap in this plane. You're going to manually bring up the power. So bring it up about halfway or so. Let the engine start spooling up. Let us get rolling here. Then I'm going to bring the power all the way up and then just back it off just a little bit. Alright, so full power, and then just back off my throttle ever so slightly so we don't overspeed it there.
Knots. E1, rotate.
Okay, rotating. And this thing loves to have a positive rotation. You gotta pull that stick back. Okay, positive rate, gear coming up. Okay, I'm gonna lower the nose ever so slightly, watching my airspeed there. There's 160. Bumpy coming out of San Diego here. Somebody get the shade up. We'll look at that in a minute. And I'm going to nose down ever so slightly here. Try to keep that 10 degrees. Alright, there's 170. I'm going to bring the flaps up to 2. Really got to hand fly this thing. Let me go ahead and turn that down a little bit so you can hear me. Using a trim here. Trying to keep about 10 degrees. Got leveled off there a little bit. Keep our climb going. Alright, flaps all the way up. And we're going to power back a little bit here. Keep our airspeed. We're shooting for 250. Alright, let's go ahead and make our turn right now. Nosing up a little bit too high. Trying to maintain that 10 degrees roughly. And we got a climb. We're turning to our heading of 040, or actually a little bit beyond that to intercept our course. And we're looking for 250 knots. Get cleaned up here a little bit, put that to off. We can put our landing lights off, taxi light off. Alright, there's 250, let's power back a little bit. Kind of overshot that airspeed there a tad. See if they got the shades up and down here. We're going to make sure everybody's got their shades up. Yeah, put that shade up we want to see. There we go. Not sure why that is doing that. Got to adjust that view a little bit. And there's 250. Bring our power up a little bit. Constantly making adjustments here to you got to hand fly this thing. This isn't just engage the autopilot and you're good to go. No auto throttle. Alright, so we're going to shoot for a heading of about 060. 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll go 070 just to intercept that and give us a 30-degree intercept. for our course. There's 040, 05. We'll start rolling out here a little bit. Still watching my airspeed here. Adjusting power, there's 060. Alright, close enough. Right around 070. Alright, level off here. Bring the power back up. Nose down just a little bit. Nose that down ever so slightly. Alright, now we can play with the autopilot a little bit. So let's go over here. Let's go to our heading. We're going to turn our heading right to where we're heading, which is right about there. We're going to hit our bugs right there. We're going to hit heading hold. Okay. Not going to touch altitude hold, and we're going to go VOR lock here. You can see our needle is kind of coming in. We're going to select VOR lock right here in a second. As soon as we see this starting to come in a little bit. Alright, we're past 10,000, so let's go ahead and node. No, we're good. Good right here. We're going to keep speeding up. So the way it works, once you've got the autopilot on, turn that down just a little bit. So once you've got the autopilot on, right, you're still making control inputs with the yoke. Okay, and actually you can see we're coming up right here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to hit localizer lock. I should have waited another second. It's still trying to turn us into it a little bit. Alright, we're going to slow down our rate of descent here, or rate of climb, sorry. So what I was saying is, yeah, I'm pushing the nose down a little bit, and I'm going to leave, and then let go of the yoke, and you can see it's going to kind of keep my V speed right about there, so that will help us increase in our airspeed. You kind of set the nose where you want it to be, you know, taking everything into consideration, like your speed, your vertical speed, yeah, and it just kind of keeps it there. So this will switch over to altitude hold once we get to 23,000 feet, and you can see we're kind of, it's turning us towards our 040 radial inbound here. We got 27 miles to go. Now going outbound, let's take a look at this. Once we go outbound, yeah, we're going to keep going outbound 040 past that the Julian VOR. So we're just going to leave it at 040. As a matter of fact, the heading after that, let's see, is going to be 078. So I'm going to set this to 078 next, just in case we need it. Alright, let's get stuff cleaned up over here. Landing lights off, all that's off. Let's take a look at our strobes. This is good. Collision, we can turn our wing lights off, logo off. Alright, and everything else looks good. Okay, and you can see DME2 here, that's slaved to VOR2, okay, which is 117.4, which is our next VOR we're going to, which is Blythe. And you can see we're showing 114 miles away. We should be at our intersection. Let me take a look at this. Is it 70? Yes. No, that's the total. Look at the chart here. Can't quite tell, but well, we'll know when it intercepts, right? So when we get there, we'll know. When this comes back down around to center, right? When this needle comes down here to center, and this one's on center, because we're going to be going outbound at 040, that's where shady intersection is. And there's a couple of different ways you can actually determine it. You can use some of the other VORs, but that's good enough for us right there. Alright, let's take a look at our airspeed, and it's starting to decrease a little bit. Let's nose down ever so slightly. So pushing the stick forward. reduce our rate of climb a little bit, but you can see we'll start picking up speed again. Power, what do I got set here? Let's take a look at this. Closer look here. So right at the top of the green arc right there, so that's what, 90, I'm guessing that's 100, so about 95%-ish, I think. Alright, but we got a good airspeed, got a decent rate of climb here, about 1,500 feet per minute, and we're only going up to 23,000 feet. Jump out and take a look around here. Alright, altimeter setting, we're at 18,000, so let's go ahead and reset these to 29. And 2992. There we go, that one. 2992, that one. And what's going on there? Zoom in here a little bit. 292. There we go. Alright. Alright, so we're 3 miles out from this, so here's where it may get a little shaky, because we're actually going to cross the VOR and continue outbound here. We're not going to be switching over to a different VOR yet. So the closer we get to it, which it's like sitting down here somewhere, right? Catch up scenery. There we go. You see it swings out and then it's going to swing right back, and you can see this needle is pointing to it. So you can see it was pointing to it, now it's swinging back around. So that's why you get a little bit of the turning there in the plane while it's doing that, because it's trying to hold that center line. Alright. So outbound here, I don't see a distance on our chart over to this intersection. Unfortunately, it does not give us a number. So we're just gonna have to wing it here. We're coming up to our altitude too. Let's keep an eye on our airspeed here. Eye on our engine power. We're gonna power back a little bit once we reach altitude here. And we can nose down a little bit more and get it to about 1,000 psi there. Just gonna bump it down. Let's leave it right there. Down a little bit too much. Bring it back up a little bit. See our airspeed's increasing here. We should be somewhere around Mach 0.71 or something like that. That's just telling us we got 1,000 feet to go. I guess you can switch these over to white now. Altitude, getting what is this? Altitude alert, yep, that's because we're coming up to our altitude, so start holding it. So, you can see, where's our altitude here? We've got 400 feet to go or so. You'll see this automatically switch over to altitude hold. Get another alert when it's 200 feet, and there you go. You can see it just switched over, so it's going to hold our 23,000 that we have set down here. Alright, we're 20 miles out. Let's keep an eye on this sucker, because this sucker's going to start coming in pretty quick. Unfortunately, I don't have a distance out that we're going to hit it on, so we just really got to kind of pay attention to it right there. We could actually see this. This is actually pointing to it. The second one right here. Right. So if I click on that, it's the ADM. Okay. So there you go. So once this goes to 078, right? Because this bigger needle is tuned to that, the VOR. So once we get to 078, we should see this thing center lined right here. Alright, now we're going to keep our eyeballs on the airspeed here since we're leveled off. So we're gonna throttle back here. And as long as we're not into the danger zone here, keep our airspeed up, 5.74. Just going to throttle back a little bit, see which way it goes, adjust it as needed here. See, we're kind of slowing down a little bit, bring it up a tad. Let's see what we're doing here, about 90-ish%. I guess we can go back farther, but like I said, we're going a little bit faster. I think we're supposed to be going like 0.71. Take a look around, Salton Sea. Get Palm Springs off in the distance there. I gotta adjust this. I don't know why that thing's doing that. Oh, I think that's like the window. So we're sort of in the glass here. There's some sort of funky reflection here. Anyway, I'll leave it as is for now. Alright, there's 07. We should start seeing this thing coming in. And we could go to, there's a couple different ways we could do this. We could just kind of, we're heading outbound the way we're supposed to on the 040. Radial, so that's kind of what we're doing now. But you could just set your heading, but your wind, your wind's going to blow you around a little bit. And power back just a little bit here, so we don't get too fast. Bring that noise down just a little bit. That wind noise can get a little annoying there. Alright, you can see our needles starting to come in right here, and we're coming up to 075. So what I'm going to do here, let me take this heading. I'm going to change this to heading 040, and I'm going to go to heading hold now. You can see it still changes. I don't know why it does that. It's like it's so quirky, but that does happen in real life, right? Okay, so we're starting to come into this. Let's go ahead and start changing our heading now. We're going to start turning. And it makes a serious turn here. Okay. And then we're going to switch over to our... There we go. We're going to switch that VOR over. So now we're basically duplicating what we have there. We're going to change over to course 078. Right. And we're right on it. So I'm just going to go right to VOR lock and let it make the turn for us here. And we can change this to whatever we want right now. We'll just put it to 078 also. Right now we're using the VOR here on this course, so it's going to get that line centered for us. Alright, so now we got to go look at the next VOR. So we're heading for Blythe now, where we just passed into that intersection here. Let me bring this up. Bring up the chart for you. Alright, so here's that turn. That's where we just turned. And we're inbound here, 078 radio, reciprocal of 258 into Blythe. So out of Blythe, we're going to go 084, but that doesn't make sense because that one is, that's 082 right there, and we want less than that. I don't know, that says 077 coming into there. See, we do get that. .077. I think that's what we need. Let's take a look at it here. 084. Sags to Blythe. 084. That's the magnetic heading. 085 from Blythe to there. Okay, so there we go. And maybe it was just hard to see on my screen here. So yeah, 085 is what we're going to want. Alright, so we can kind of set this up again. So we're going to head 085 once we get to Blythe. I think. Alright, keeping an eye on my airspeed here. What are we at? Yeah, okay. Keeping our airspeed up. Alright, 29 miles. We still got to figure out our course heading there. You know, I think it's a little odd. I don't think it's 085. Because I'm looking at the chart and it says 082 for the actual, you know, route out of there, and we're going a little bit less than that. I'm going to say 080, but it doesn't matter. We'll pick up the Buckeye VOR, which we got to tune in right now, which is 110.6. So let's go ahead, view down here. All right, so we are going to this one right now, and then we're going to go to 110.6. So let's just crank that up. Right, Buckeye, 110.6. Alright, and then we'll flip that over, and we can also put this one on 110.6 right now, just to get an idea of how far away, if we're picking it up, which we're not. And I'm going to leave 078 for that. That makes sense, because 078, I'll just leave them all at 078 right now. You can see how fun this is. And we're only at 23,000 feet, we're not even that high up. Not that it'd be a big difference, but it's such a short flight. It was more of a, I wanted to try this first flight with you guys, whether I screw it up or not. But yeah, heading off to Arizona here. We got 15 miles, and then from there we're still going to go 078. So. Oh, you know what it is? The plan that I was looking at is taking account the crosswinds and stuff, and that's why the degrees are sort of off. So those headings that I was looking at before, they're actually they're compensating with the actual the winds, the crosswind effect there. That's why those degrees are a little bit off. But we're not going to set that here. We're going to set the correct courses here. We might on the heading. So if we take into account the heading, the winds, yeah, it should be 085, and that'll correct for our winds. All right, 5 miles to go here. Hopefully it just kind of flips over. You see the arrow right here, so that means 2. We're heading to it, and then once it gets closer and closer here, all of a sudden this needle or the arrow will go down here, and we'll be going from it, and you know, kind of jump around here a little bit. Alright, so there you go. You can see it just went to the from indicator, needle jumped off to the side and then back to center. And we are heading now out from it. On that same heading, by the way. So let's take a look. We still haven't picked up our, what is it, Buckeye? What the hell's that one? Yeah, so Blythe is where we're at now. Double check. Yep, Blythe. That's Blythe down there. And we're heading for Buckeye. So we are heading for Buckeye. We'll see if we pick it up. We should be picking it up pretty soon because we're going to start our descent actually before Buckeye. So looking for this thing to come in, and we're just double checking my frequency 110.6. It says L next to it. I wonder if it's just a low, that's a low altitude one, so we may not pick it up until we're kind of closer to it. Double checking my frequency. We are on that 110.6. Yep, 110.6. Wait for that to come in. Alright. Alright, 12 miles out. It is a little bit of ways through there. It's at least 70-ish, 70, 80, 90, something like that miles. So it's a little ways over to Buckeye. So at this time, keep an eye on that DME too. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alright guys, just enough time to take a break here. So we're 33 miles out of Blythe, and looks like we're picking up our Buckeye VOR here. 64 miles out of that, so what was that, 6, 7, 8, 95, 6, 7, 8, 98 miles or so, something like that, between the two. Alright, so let's get ready for our descent here. Yes, it's coming up quick, very, very quick here. So 62 miles out. Once we get to Buckeye, it's another, I think like 41 miles, looking at the chart here. So we got about 100-ish miles to go here, something like that. Yeah, just 100 miles. but we're only at 23,000, so we can start our descent. Let's say we'll start our descent when we're 20 miles out of Buckeye. All right. So we got to bring up our approach. Let's take a look at our approach at ILS runway 8. All right. So ILS runway 8 approach is going to be 111.75. So let's go ahead and throw that in here on number 1. Well, it's a little early to throw it in here on number 1. Let's throw it on number 2 here. 111.75, right? Just so we know what it is. Okay, so that's our approach. We'll put that on number 2, and then we'll switch it over here. The final approach course is going to be 078. Go figure. Okay. And we're going to be descending down to the initial approach fix is Sardi intersection 6,000. Alright, so we're going to be going down to 6,000 on our altitude. Alright, so I guess at this point what we can do, we could flip over now here, and usually we're kind of, it's in the halfway point that you flip over, and we're exactly halfway right here. So let's go ahead and flip over to, before I do that, 078, yep, let's flip over to Buckeye and see how that does. That should pick this up. We'll see what happens here. Come on, it should come in pretty quick. So I left it at 078. Maybe that wind correction. It's going to turn us to try to intercept us right here, right? And that needle's coming in, and it's going to turn us back around. I hate that blue thing here. Let me try to fix that while we're doing this. Let's see. Let's go to the right. Not sure what that is. Let's do this. Let's go like this. No, wait a minute. Oh, setting up X-plane or X-camera views, medium. There we go. Get out of the windshield. One more click. Another click. Forward. All right, that's a little better. We'll leave it right there. Save that. There we go. Yeah, I think we're kind of like in the glass. That's why it's doing that kind of weird blue thing. See, here we're behind the glass. That's why you kind of got the reflections in the glass right here. I'll have to reset that one. See, I kind of popped us out of the airplane here a bit. Anyway, there we go. We're picking up our course 078 into Buckeye, and we're coming up only 35 miles from it. So we said we're going to start our descent. Well, let me think about this. See, we'd have to calculate our descent. Oops, I hit that. Hit a button there. Hit my view button a little bit. So you normally calculate your descent, right, at such and such a speed, at this altitude. To get down to this point, you'd have to start your descent from so far away, right? But we're going to kind of eyeball it here. And I'm guessing about, well, we got 40 DME from the, let me bring it up here for you. Alright, so there's the approach. Let me get rid of that. Alright, so from the airport, here's Phoenix. From there to Buckeye, we can tell because it tells us 41 nautical miles. And we are flying down here like this, somewhere around here. And we are 27 on our DME, 26 now, right there, from it. Okay, so we add those two together. 41 plus 25 is, what, 66, right? 66 DME from the airport right now. Maybe give it another 10. Another 10 miles. Right, because we're only going down to 6,000. We might as well do it now. What the heck? Let's figure out how to do this. Okay, so here's how you do it. Okay, we're gonna go turn this down to 6,000. Okay, and we're gonna take off altitude hold, right? And then it's still we're not gonna disengage the autopilot or anything. We're just taking altitude hold off. Okay, so now, like I said, it's gonna do whatever we do with our, you know, kind of push the yoke and set it here. So I'm kind of looking down here so you can see the yoke, and I'm looking at the vertical speed, and I'm going to get it down to about 1,000 feet per minute, something like that, maybe just a little bit less. Okay, and then I'm going to leave it there. See, now hand off the yoke, and you can see it's kind of hold that attitude. Now our airspeed is going to start to increase, so we need to start reducing throttle. Okay, I'm going to bring it up a little bit. I don't want to go down that fast. Okay, right about there. And you can see our airspeed's coming down. We're gonna bring the throttle back a little bit more. Start getting ourselves slowed up here. Alright. And you can see our heading. We're not holding our heading. We're holding VOR lock here. But our heading with the wind correction angle is almost exactly 085. We're flying this radial here, but you can see our heading with that wind correction is almost right on, because I have that 085, and that's what the plan was telling us, right? So that's the retard I am. Like I said, hey, I haven't flown in a little bit, so and it's been quite a while since I've flown with an HSI and all that good stuff here. Starting to see Phoenix up ahead, right? Yeah, look at that. Might just go visual here. Actually, you know what we could do, because it is pretty visual conditions here. This is Phoenix coming up. Let's do this. Let's go ahead and get ourselves slowed down. I'm going to bring the power back. We'll leave that as is. 085's our heading. I'm going to go to heading hold. Right, so I'm going to go, instead of VOR lock, I'm just going to click heading, and there you go. It's going to switch over. It's going to carry us on. Oh, great! Clouds are coming up. Lovely. All right, so it's just going to go heading hold now, and make sure I didn't touch anything there. All right, and now we're going to flip over to 117 or 111.75. So that's our ILS, right? It's currently active. Okay, and you can see we're already starting to pick it up. We're 41 miles out, so we're like we're right over Buckeye here. All right, so I'm going to power back even more. I'm going to nose down a little bit, get our descent going here. Let's see, we'll go flight. I guess these can go low and mid now, right? Strobes are on. Yep, didn't want to do that. Get out of there. Strobes on. Logo on, not that we really need it there. Alright, our airspeed's increasing, so I'm going to go ahead and power back a little bit more. We want to keep going down. Actually, I got the power all the way back right now. Alright, and look at this, we are picking this up, but we're way high. So we're just going to kind of use our ILS as we come in here. We're already 35 out. I'm actually going to nose over even more. We're going to start a pretty decent descent right here, and I'm going to bring our spoilers up to keep our airspeed down. I guess I should have started my descent quite a bit sooner there, so I misjudged that. Let's put that on. Let's just say that way. Okay, and I'm going to adjust my heading here so that we kind of can capture this right there. Keep our airspeed in check here. Hopefully we don't bust it. I'm not going to set the altimeter setting because there's just way too much stuff right now going on, and we're going to come into visual here anyway. But I do want to capture the localizer here just for the heck of it. So you can see I'm gonna kind of change over a little bit because we're coming into it right there. All right. Yeah, we definitely should have started our descent a little bit sooner, but you can actually see the airport up ahead right there. We'll keep this rated descent here. Let's go turn that a little bit. I guess I could go, let's see here. I don't want to, see, I don't want to do approach, auto approach right now because I haven't yet gotten to our glide slope, so I want to get down below that. Really diving down here. You can see the runway though, so that's good. There you go, keep that in check right there. Let's try to get that lined up. 10,000 feet. Power all the way back. Take a look at our spoilers up as we dive down for Phoenix. Trying to keep our localizer here centered as best I can. Alright, so since we're diving for the airport, let's go ahead and put our lights on, taxi, turn off. Everything else is all set here. I don't know if there's auto braking. I have no idea, but we'll just do manual braking here. And actually we're going to go below that, so we're going to keep on going down. Go to 2,000. And I'm going to bring the nose up because we are under the glide path here, I think. What are we at? Yeah, 6,000. And we're 16 miles out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit approach. Alright, you can see it switched that over there, and it's going to get us onto our approach here. Let's keep an eye on our airspeed here though, because we're still going to be slowing down. Throttle's all the way back. I'm going to bring this up so that we kind of level off here at about 4,000. Really get our airspeed down and try to capture that glide path here. 13 miles out, I think. Or a little high, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, here we go. Here comes our glide path right there. So we'll let it capture there and see if it does so as we get ourselves slowed up. Still got the speed brakes out. The spoilers are up. Let's do a quick flyby. Alright, I'm going to drop the spoilers down here now. I'm going to raise the nose here, trying to keep that VASI or vertical speed slowed up a little bit. Engine's still at idle right now. There we go. Let's hold it right there. Is it capturing it? I guess it's capturing it right there. There we go. Alright, and we got our speed coming up a little bit, so we're going to drop some more spoilers. We're 8 miles out. Let's go ahead and start putting in some flaps here. Oh, not sure what the heck's going on there. Hello. Ooh, I think I broke a flap. I put the flaps out maybe too much, too high in airspeed. Let's take a look here. Let's see what happened. Let's drop the spoilers down. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, but that's weird. Alright. Bring a little bit of power up. Let's go ahead and disengage all of this. We're going to go to manual here. Yeah, I think I busted a flap. Yeah, I'm going to try to go to 2 degrees of flaps. Oh yeah, that's even worse. Alright, we're going to keep our airspeed up. We're going to put our gear down. Whoa! Holy moly! Power all the way back. My goodness. Alright, we're going to do a no-flap landing here, apparently. Alright, so I'm retrimming. Yeah, apparently I must have broke a flap because that was really weird. As soon as I hit the flaps, it just went crazy off to the left. Alright, so I don't know what a no-flap landing is here.
Approaching 08. Flaps.
Yeah, I know, flaps. Well, we ain't got any flaps. Alright, keep our airspeed at like 180. I can feel it getting mushy. A 0 flap landing. Alright, gear is down. Let's get this baby on the ground. 190. Somewhat of an emergency here, I guess. Let's see. Oh, this is coming in super fast. Alright, I'm going to hit my spoilers right here, try to get us slowed down to the runway.
Long landing.
Oh yeah, it's going to be long.
8,000 feet remaining. 7,000
Come on, settle down.
remaining. 6,000 remaining.
Alright, solid on the ground, spoilers up, and thrust reversers on, heavy braking. I don't know if we're going to make it to the end of the runway. Ooh, there we go. Unacceptable landing. Ah, yeah. So that's how you land a 737-200 with no flaps. Let's pull off to the side over here and let's do a replay over there and see what the heck happened to our flaps. I think I extended them at too high an airspeed, which was weird because I thought it was pretty. I'll have to see what the airspeed was. I thought it was like 190. Maybe I was a little bit faster than I thought. Hey, I said we were going to get killed here. I said I might kill us. And there we go. But managed to bring it home anyway. That is my second landing. And they're getting worse as I go here. So that's the second landing in this plane. So we could taxi all the way over here to the southwest ramp, which is on the south side of the airport. But I'm going to stop it right here just because I want to see that replay. So let's come over here, let's hit our parking brake, and let's see here, let's go back up. Yeah, farther than that. There we go. Let's see, there we go with my yoke going all bananas. I want to see just before that. We're going to try it. We'll play it from there, but let's do it from over here. I'm going to turn down the volume there too, so it's not too loud. I want to see what happens with the flaps here. Alright, so there I think I'm engaging the glide, or the glide path, the localizer there, right? Trying to get slowed down. Got the spoilers up. Let's watch the flaps really closely here. Because I think this one came down, this one did not. And that would have turned us violently to the left like it did. Let's speed up and see if we can get there. Spoilers are down. There it is, right there. What happened? Yeah, look at flaps right there. I think. Yeah, weird. I can't tell, you know, because I only dropped it 1 degree of flaps. You know, the slats look to be down normally. Turn that down a little bit. Let's back up. Let's back up and look at that again. All right. Right there. Like, why is it all of a sudden turning? The rudder looks good. And I don't know what the heck happened, but it was right when I hit the flaps. I don't know, I look at that and it's almost like, did that flap come down? Did this one come down and that one didn't? Because then I did, you know, kind of undid the last thing I did, which was to put the flaps back up. Interesting. All right, anyway, let's watch it. Let's watch the landing here, and we'll go forward here a little bit. There we go. We get settled down. Turn back on course, and back onto final here. A very fast final. Anyway, guys, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that. Lots of X-Plane videos I put up and stream occasionally. Along with Almost Killing Us here in a brand new airplane, a brand new old airplane. Hope you enjoyed that. Hit the like button. I promise I'll try not to kill us next time. Maybe I'll go practice a couple approaches here. Make sure I get my airspeed on target here. Wow, look at that. There you were screaming down that runway. Crazy. Yikes. Nice animation, you can see the, if you can hear me, nice animation, you can see the, you know, reversers come on. We did live. I know, that looks like it's fast forward, but it's not. That's how fast we actually came in. Ooh, crazy. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed that flight. That was kind of fun. Good brush up on some VOR to VOR flying, and I guess I need some more work on my airspeed control in the 737-200. Till next time guys, take care.